Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to repeat the try-catch explanation because that was missed in our class recording. In addition to that, I'm going to go over also the regular expressions. So the try-catch statement is a way for us to catch any error that occurs in our code without breaking the code. Because when we run a piece of code, it runs line by line until an error occurs. Once an error occurs, it stops the execution, it breaks the code. And so a try catch is a way for us to handle that error and show an alternative like message or show the user something else other than just breaking the code and stopping the execution, and then the user interface might be in an inconsistent state. So we can handle all of that with the try catch. Basically, we have a try and then some code here. If this code fails, then an error will be thrown. This error will be caught here in the catch statement, in which case those statements inside the catch block will run. That's how it works. This error object has two properties, a name and a message. Let's take a quick look at this example. We have a try block, some statements, and we have a catch block and some statements. If anything happens here, if anything wrong happens here, then this one will be called and we will see this error message. We will see a practical example in a bit. The catch block can have an error, and we can also eliminate that error object if we don't care about it. We just care about showing that something went wrong without any details about it. We can do that too. Okay, we can also throw a message ourselves. We can throw a message ourselves using the new and then error and then the message between bracket. This is how we create an error object. In order to throw the error object, we use the throw statement, throw and then the error object. Why would we want to throw an error? Well, whenever we create functions or create code, it is not necessarily that it is always us who will use this function. When we work in big companies and teams, we create methods and other people use them. It is good to throw these messages, these errors, back at them when they do something wrong or when they use our code in a wrong way. This will tell them that you're using it wrong, fix you whatever you've done. So this is actually a very good way and much better than just failing silently without anybody knowing what went wrong with the application. Okay, let's take a look at this example. I have loaded it here, and as you can see, this code, when it runs here, okay, this variable which I'm sending a text to, it's not a string, it's not a number. So this one will be true because it's not a number, in which case we will create an error and we will throw this error. We don't have a try catch block here, so this error will be thrown, and then we can see it here in the console. The execution stops. How do we know execution stops? So if I update the message, this is after the error here, and then display it on screen using the add answer method that we created, and then save, we can see that nothing shows up here. Now I can try the same thing here and say this is before the error and save. Once I save, we see the before the error, but we don't see the after the error. Why? Because this execution stopped here once the error was thrown. Okay, so this is how we see that we have an error. The name of it is error, and the string or the text in it or the message in it is these details. As you can see, it's the name is error, and these are the details of the error. Now, how can we do this with the try catch? We can say try, and then this statement, and then catch, and then we can handle this error object. Now, let's take a look. Console.log error.name, and then console.log error.message. If we save, we can see that we have the name as error and the message as this sentence. And we can also see that the after message is now being called. Why did we get here? Because execution didn't stop. The only place where execution stopped is inside the try catch. So I'm gonna call this after try catch, okay, and this one is inside try catch. When I save, we can see that we don't see the inside try catch. We only see that after try catch. So execution here in this block, it stopped at the error that is here, okay? And then, but it resumed afterwards. Now, usually we don't do things like that. We don't do it a try catch and then some code after it. Usually try catch will encapsulate everything in our function. So for example, I would have a method, for example, constant value, and then let's call this function my function equals, doesn't take anything. Here we would have a try and then a catch, and then we would have our code like this, okay, and then we will have our catch statement. This is how usually things are done. Usually our like everything inside the function is encapsulated in the try catch block, okay, and this is where the finally block become really useful, because sometimes when you catch an error, you still want to run some cleanup code, and you do that in the finally block. This code will always run. This will always run. Okay, so let's test that. My function save. Now we can see this will always run even though there was an error. So it called here, there was an error, this one was printed, and then it came here, it called this method, we got an error which was printed here, and then it jumped to the finally block. Oh, it didn't print anything here because we don't have the error object. Save. Now we see it. Okay, so it comes here, it break the execution, so it didn't print this one. It came here, it printed these two lines as we can see here, and then it printed this will always run. So when we had an error, this will always run. Let's cancel this one. So now we don't have an error. As you can see, everything was printed, and this will always run also ran. So this one always runs. So this is how we do the try catch. It usually encapsulates the whole code in a function to handle any errors. Okay, moving forward. So this is another example, try and catch and the finally statement. Now, and in this example, we can see a good usage of the finally, and that is whether there is an error or no error, we always go back and focus on this investment field. So these are some error types. As you can see here in this example, the error type inside calculate is error. There are other types. For example, there is range error. You just type the word error and you should get some eval error, type error, media. Let's, for example, select type error. Nothing changes. We still have this one, but this is a way to classify the errors. Once I save this one and we take a look here, we can now see that the name is now printed as type error. Okay. This way I can handle different errors different ways. So these are different errors that we can use in our applications. Okay, so why do you want to to use the throw statements to test the operation of a try catch? You would just throw an error just to see if the try catch is working as you expect it to work. To throw an error from a function that lets calling code know that one or more of the arguments that were passed are invalid. Basically, you throw it out from a function to tell anybody using your function that something went wrong, whether it is in the argument or something else in the body. To perform some processing after catching an error and then throw the error again. Basically, you would catch an error, you do some handling, and then you would throw it again so that someone else can also catch it and handle it as well. So these are the three reasons mentioned in the book about why we need to use the try catch. And these are the terms that we have seen right now. Okay, now regular expressions. Regular expressions basically are a way for us to find value like strings that we know that they have a certain form, but we don't know what the value is. For example, an email address. We know that an email consists of some string and then the @ symbol and then another string and then the dot and then another string. We know that it looks in that way. So in order for us to validate if a past value is an email, we would use something like the regular expression to test if that is a valid email. We can use it also to check phone numbers, to check URLs, and to check any value that has a specific format. Postal codes as well. We can create regular expressions in one of two ways. One way is using the new regexp, and then between brackets we have these double quotes, and then we have our regular expression. That's one way. Another way is by using these forward slashes and then having the expression here, and notice that we don't have the codes here. Okay, so this is a second way of defining our expression literal. We can have some optional flags here or optional flags here after the forward slash. Here's an example. The regular expression is Babbage. It will basically try to see if there is a word Babbage in the string. If the string is consists of the word Babbage, basically. Okay, so how do we check a string? We use the test method on the regular expression. So again, here the pattern is Babbage, and we have this inventor and we have this programmer. So pattern.test, and then we pass the inventor. This pattern is Babbage. We test if inventor has Babbage, and it tells us that yes, it does have Babbage, as we can see here. Here it tests programmer and that doesn't find Babbage, and then it displays false. Let's take a look over here. We can check if it is case insensitive by adding a flag I, which means insensitive, case insensitive. We can have the I here in this way of creating the regular expression, or when we create an instance, we can also do it, pass it to the constructor. And we use it in the same way, just pattern.test and then the string that we want to test. Okay, so with regular expressions, it's really important for you to test things out and try them out, because that's the only way you're gonna get used to them and learn them perfectly. There are a lot of stuff when it comes to regular expressions, and sometimes it can be difficult. So let's take a look here. The backslash is an escape character. Okay, so whenever we want to have a special meaning for a letter like the T, for example, then we put the backslash to it to indicate that this T is not just the letter T, but it is a tab, for example. Also, same thing for the N, it's a new line now. The R, it's a carriage return. The F is a form feed, and so on and so forth. So when we put backslash before some letters, this means that they have special meanings. Okay, what if I want to check if the string has a backslash? Then I would escape a backslash, like this example. I would put escape and then a backslash. This means that please look for a backslash character in my string. The forward slash is also needs to be escaped. Why? Because the forward slash is used in the creation of the pattern itself. So I can't have a forward backslash in the middle here. So I have to escape it if I'm looking for it in my string. And this symbol is for the backspace, and this symbol and this one are like, this one is for Unicode characters, and this is for a hexadecimal digits for Latin characters. For example, here we are looking for a forward slash. So this slash is the beginning, this slash is the end of the pattern. The pattern is basically one character. Does this string has a forward slash? Because we are escaping it. Does it have a forward slash? Yes, it does. So this one displays true, as you can see. Now, this one, this is the end, this is the beginning, and this is the symbol. So it's looking for XA9, which is the symbol for this one. And yes, it has, so it returns true. Now this pattern is looking for 2 forward slashes, and the answer is no, there is no 2 forward slashes in two backward slashes. There's no 2 backward slashes in this string, so it's a false. Okay, more characters and regular expressions. Now, when we use a dot on its own, this means that any character except a new line. Okay, if we are looking for the dot itself, then we need to escape it. But if we use it without any escaping, this means in the place of the dot, I'm looking for any character except for a new line. When we have brackets, this means that any character in the middle, any one character in the middle can be matched. When we have this symbol, the caret, this means that anything but the characters in this bracket can be matched. Anything else other than these characters. When we have something like this means a range of characters. So anything from A to Z will be matched. Okay, the small w, it means a letter, a number, or an underscore. A capital W, it's a character that's not a letter, number, or underscore. So any other character other than the letter, number, or underscore. D is for the digit. Capital D is anything that is not a digit. S for the white space, and capital S is anything that is not a white space. Let's take a look. Let's look at some examples. So MB dot, this means I'm looking for the letter M and then the letter B and then any other character. We do have it here, so this comes back as true. MBTF between brackets, this means I want the letter M and the letter B and then one of these characters, which is T or F. Do we have M, B, and T or F? And this is not case insensitive. This is case sensitive because we don't have an I. Okay, so we need a capital M, capital B, and these are the only two. And then T or an F, yes, we do have that, so this returns a true. Now MBT dash, and then I'm escaping with the capital W. Capital W, anything that is not a letter, number, or underscore. Do we have that? No, we have a number, so this is a false. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, these symbols, they represent positions in the regular expression. This one means the beginning of the string. This one means the end of the string. These two, which we will look at, mean the beginning of the word or the end of the word, respectively. So if this comes at the end of the word, this means that these letters need to be at the end of the word. Characters that aren't followed or preceded by any word character. And this one is the reverse of this one. We will see some examples to make it clear. So here, when we see something like this, now please note that this caret is different than this caret. This caret is inside these brackets, which means we will match anything that is not inside these brackets. Okay, but this caret, which is outside the brackets like this means that this is the beginning of the string, which means that capital C needs to be the first letter in the string. Is capital C the first letter? Yes. And then H and A, R, L, E, S? Yes. So this one is a true because Charles is at the beginning of the string. Display is true. This symbol means the end of the string. Is Babbage is at the end of the string? Yes, we have Babbage at the end of the string, so this is true. Is Babbage at the beginning of the string? No, it's not, so it's false. Okay, now looking at this second example, ADA Lovelace. Now AD, do we have an A and D? Yes, so this one is a true. Now AD slash B, and slash B is at the end of the AD, which means do we have an AD at the end of the word? We don't have an AD at the end of the word, which means that this is false. Let's take an example, a practical example here so that we see how it actually works. So I'm going to delete all of this. Okay, let's take the same example actually. So ADA Lovelace const programmer equals ADA Lovelace. I think it was a small letter, I'm not really sure. Let's see. No, it's a capital letter. Okay, let's see. Now, add answer. We have two tests. One of them AD dot test programmer, and the second is AD slash B. Let's save and take a look. We see that we have a true and a false. Now, again, we said that AD here is expected to be at the end of the word because we have this letter. Is it at the end of a word? No, it's at the beginning of the word. So if I remove this A and put it here, or put whatever I want here, now AD is at the end of the word of a word. So once I save, we see that it's true. It doesn't have to be the first word. I could have a different word here. Once I save, again, it is still true. Okay, so this one tests to check if these symbols that are before it, they come at the end of any word inside the string. Now, if I move this to here, to here, this means I'm looking for this at the beginning of a word. Okay, so once I save, I will get false because there is no AD at the beginning of a word. If I move these to here and save, now I get true because AD is at the beginning of a word. And it doesn't have to be like, it can be the first word, the last word, any word basically. As you can see, it still says true. Now, the B capital is the reverse of this one. So when B capital is before the letters, this means that I want to have an AD which is not at the beginning of any word. So once I save now, I get a false because I have an AD at the beginning of a word. I can move this to the middle and now it will be true because AD is not at the beginning of a word. This one also can be true, which is AD is not at the beginning of a word, but this one is similar to this one, right? Which is AD at the end of a word, AD not at the beginning of the word. These two are the same. And if I move this to here, this means that I want AD not at the end of the word. And now AD is at the end of a word. So once I save, it's false. When I move it to the middle, for example here, save, now AD is in the middle, which is not at the end, and it's true as we can see. And I can move it also at the beginning here, and it shows that it is true. One moment. All right, so I hope the B symbol is now clear. Now we have these sub patterns. We can group some patterns together. Okay, this is really very helpful. And we can also uh, use this pipe to say this one or this one. So I'm looking for Rob or Bob. One of them will be matched. And Rob is at the beginning of the word. Okay. And this example will be true because we do have a Rob at the beginning of a word. Okay. This one means at this location, use the group number 1, which means I have 3 letters and then space and 3 letters. Do we have that? We have 3 letters and space and 3 letters, which are the same as those first 3 letters because this one matches the first group. Okay, because it's number 1. And yes, we do have Rob and Rob. That's why it displays true. Let's take a look at these examples over here. So this is the example, and let's comment this one out. It looks like this. Save Rob Robertson. Save. Let's take a look at this. It shows true again because we have now in this case right now, like this group doesn't, well, it does have a meaning because we have this one. This one is basically saying, well, whatever you found here, use it here. The same exact letters. We are referencing them with the 1 because 1 is means group number 1. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So this will look for Rob space Rob, which we do have, Rob space and Rob, which we do have, and it will be true as we have seen. Now, what happens if I use a 2 here? Well, I can't use a 2 because we only have one group, right? So 2 is referencing nothing. So this doesn't work. It gives us a false, even though we do have a www and then a space, which are 3 letters and a space. But it returns false because of this one. It's referencing an invalid group. Okay, let's take another example. This one. Here we have 2 groups. We have this outer group that has 3 W's, and then this inner group which has 2 W's. So when I do 1 here, it will be that, okay, well, I want to see R, O, and B space, and then this will repeat group 1. Group 1 is this whole thing, which is ROB, and we already saw that ROB space ROB is true, and as you can see here, it's true. Now, let's say I change this to B and save. We can see that's now false because ROB doesn't match ROB. This is BOB. Let me return it to ROB. Now, what happens when this is a 2? Can you um, think and of an answer? Maybe pause the video and try to think of the answer, and then listen to my answer. So basically now we have 2 groups. This is the second group, right? And it will match O and B. So it is expecting to find R, O, B, which is 3 letters, which are the first 3 letters. Okay, and then a space, and then, well, they don't really need to be the first 3 because we don't have the symbol, this symbol, which means 3, but it wants to find 3 letters and a space, as we can see here. 3 letters and space, and then group number 2, which is those 2 letters only. This is group number 2, okay, which is OB. So it's trying to find this in our symbol. Once I save, it says false. I can't see ROB OB. Let's make sure that this is really what it's looking for. So if I delete this R and save, now we can see that it is true. It's looking for ROB, and then it's repeating group number 2, which is the OB, and it does find it here. Okay, so that's about these groups and the numbering. Now let's take a look at this OR. This OR, I think I have it here. Basically, the string is this one still, Robertson, and we have Rob or Bob. If I save, what does it show us? It shows us true because it does find a Rob at the beginning of the word. Let's say this is something else, mob maybe. Save, it shows false because there is no Rob at the beginning of the word, but there is one at the beginning of the string, right? But there is one in the middle, but it doesn't see it because we're looking for one at the beginning of the string. Okay. What about Bob? What if this was Bob? Save. It returns false. It didn't find Bob. Bob is at the beginning of the word, and it was looking for a Rob at the beginning of the word, or Bob at the end of the, I keep saying word, I'm sorry. This is at the beginning of the string and this is at the end of the string. So it's trying to find a Rob at the beginning of the string or a Bob at the end of the string. So this one doesn't match. Let's move this to here. Save. Now it shows true. It does have a Bob at the end of the string. And it also has Rob. So it matches in both ways. Okay, so it is true. Now let's continue. We have these patterns which indicate repetition. When we have curly braces and then an n, a number basically, this means that whatever came before them needs to repeat this many times, exactly n times, like maybe five times. This pattern means that I want at least this many times. If this was 2, then I want 2 or more times. When it is n, when we have two numbers, this means that I want from n to m times, exactly from n to m times. When we have a question mark, this means 0 or 1. So either it doesn't exist or 1 time. And you can also represent it with this one. When we have a plus, it means 1 or more. When we have a star, it means 0 or more. Let's look at some examples. So here we have 3 numbers dash 3 numbers dash 4 numbers. We can easily represent that with slash d, which means a digit, and then between brackets 3, which means I want a digit 3 times, then a dash, then a digit 3 times. This one digit 3 times is at the beginning of the string, and then a dash, and then a digit 3 times, and then a dash, and then a digit 4 times at the end of the string. Okay, and this displays true because that's what we have here in the first one, in the phone. Now, for the facts, we have brackets, so we need to escape the bracket because otherwise it will think of it as a group. We don't want a group, we want to actually match a bracket. So slash bracket, okay, at the beginning of the word, of the string, and then a digit 3 times, and then another closing bracket, and then a space. The space with this question mark, this means 0 or 1, as you can see here, is 0 or 1. So we can have space or we could not have a space. So this space can be omitted and we will still get true. Okay, and then a digit 3 times, and then dash, and then a digit 4 times at the end of the word, which gives us true. Okay, let's look at this phone pattern. From the beginning of the string, we have a group or another group, and then an optional space. Oh, we have here two groups. So we have this group from here to here. Oh, this is not a group, sorry. These are being escaped. These middle ones, they are not a group. So we have one group here, another group here. We have an optional space here, and that's it. So a phone pattern. let's see, this one can be used to match any of these two. So basically we're telling it either start with a 3 digits or find this group which is basically an open bracket, 3 digits, a closing bracket, an optional space. So this is the second group. So either 3 digits dash or bracket 3 digits bracket, an optional space. So it's either these 4 characters or these 5 characters. Okay, and then the rest is the same, which is 3 character dash, 4 character numbers, 3 numbers dash, 4 numbers. So this stays the same. So that's the power of this or. Or with this grouping means that this whole group is being ORed with this whole group. Okay, so only one item before and only one item after. So the one item after is a group, so everything inside the group will be in the OR. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. So here again we have at the beginning 3 digits dash 3 digits dash 4 digits at the end. And here we have 4 digits, 4 digits, 4 digits, 4 digits with dashes between them, right? I wonder if we can write this one in a different way because we have also repetition, like we can have this in a group and repeat it. Let's see if we can do that, if that works actually. 99, well, string 2 equals 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, but we have these dashes that we cannot match. Well, it can be an optional, so add answer and then the test and then string 2. Okay, and over here I'm going to say a group that has a digit 4 times and then an optional dash, and this whole thing is 4 times. If we save, it works. So it works. It, like we told it, we want 4 digits and then an optional dash, and then this whole group is 4 times, and it works. We got a true. Okay, so if I change something here, save. Oh, it's not printing. Oh, it's false. How does this one match? 4 times. Oh, yeah. Well, when I added numbers, we still have 4 digits, right? But we have extra, which doesn't matter because we didn't tell it at the end of the string. We can say the end of the string. It ends here. I wonder if it works with the end and the beginning at the same time. And removing these 4, save. Yeah, it works. So now it works with, even if I add one number, it will give us false. Remove it, it gives us true. Okay, so this is this example here, either 5 or 5 dash. So this whole thing is optional, so we can have these 5 digits from the beginning and then a group which is optional with those dash and 4 digits. Okay, this is a pattern for testing emails. From the beginning, we have one of these characters, either one of these things, basically, either a dot or a dash or a W, which we said a W is a, do you remember? It's a number, a letter, or an underscore, right? So a letter, a number, or underscore, a dot or a dash, one or more times, which means I can have more than one letter, more than one dash, more than one dot. okay, one or more times from the beginning of the string, and then the symbol at, and then another, a letter, a number, and then a dot, and then a dash, and then one or more times, okay? And then we have a dot, and then we have a character one or more time, a character, a small letter or capital letter. We don't have dots, we don't have dashes, nothing, it's just character, a letter one or more times, and then the end of the string. That's how we match the email. Okay, here a pattern for testing dates. We have 2 digits slash 2 digits slash 2 digits. The first digit can either be a 0 or 1, and that's what's happening here. Start of the string a 0 or 1. Okay, this question mark means it can also exist or not exist. Like if it is January, we can just have a 1 without a 0 even. Okay, so it can exist or not exist. If it exists, it'll be a 0 or a 1. And then a digit, because we have another digit after it, and that's it, from 0 to 9, of course. And then we have from 0 to, well, this digit will match any digit, right? We probably need another thing to match if it is more than, like, we don't have a month 19, right? So the 9 will be matched in my opinion with this, which is wrong. Okay, and then we have a slash, and then from 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, or 3 in the first digit here, right? And then because we have maximum of 30 days, and then this D, which is another digit here, and then another slash, okay, and then another digit 4 times, and then the end of the string. That's how it works. Okay, I don't want to take longer. I guess we're almost at the end of this class, so I want to not take too long. Basically, now we have some other examples that use some other examples here. Take a look at them. They should be simple like the ones that we looked at right now. They should make sense. Test them out, write them out, try to change some numbers and see what results you get. And let me know if you have any questions about any of these examples. And then these are the what we discussed in terms of regular expressions, the patterns, the regular expression object, the literal, and the flags at the end, like the insensitive character, an escape character, a subpattern, and a quantifier for the groups. And then we have this simple example. Please go over it and try it out. With this, we get to the end of this recording. I hope you benefit from it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me through email or Microsoft Teams. Have a good, well, it's night now, so have a good night or a good day whenever you're listening to this video.